don't put diesel fuel in a sports car. Why? Because you don't do it. Your body is worth more than a sports car. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Is your food killing you? Seems like a weird question, right? I mean, that food doesn't kill you. Food actually is good for you, keeps you alive. That's the whole point of food. Well, maybe not exactly. We're gonna get into that in 1 second. Before we get going, please hit that like and subscribe down below. Please share this. The reason I make these videos is I have been in the health and fitness industry a long time. 28 years I've been a trainer. I've owned a gym for 11 years. My goal of these is to be able to have people get good, honest, real information that isn't fake news. It's just not fake news because there's a ton of it out there. There's a ton of fake news out there trying to give you better information so that you will not make the dumb mistakes I've made, that some of my clients have made, that we all get ahead, right? We all win. That's the point of this. All right, let's talk about food. Is your food poisoning you? Seems like a little bit of a clickbaity thing to say. However, there's some reasonable information on that out there now. A lot of people will say, well, there's lots of good foods out there, Devin. Yes, there are. And we all know what healthy food is. Let's be honest. What I do for a living is not rocket science. When I say to you, you need to eat better, everybody has a pretty good idea that you can't go to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or wherever, you know, whatever chicken place you happen to be going to. I'm trying to think of a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Sorry about that. I obviously don't eat out too much. You can't go to one of those places and assume you're going to be healthy. Everybody knows that. But it doesn't change the fact that people do it. So what are we doing wrong here? Where are we falling down? Is food actually killing you? The short answer is yes. Some foods will shorten your life. We all know the McDonald's of the world is bad for you. It's got a ton of fat, it's got a ton of salt, or it's got a ton of sugar, or a combination of all of them. And it will shorten your life because it will give you heart attacks if you eat it regularly long term. That's just facts. It's not rocket science. But here's some things to keep in mind. The Tim Hortons, where people will be like, oh, it's a breakfast sandwich from Tim Hortons, is like 600 to 800 calories, sometimes 900 calories for a sandwich. It's not just what's in the things that we think of and the calorie-wise in the sandwich, right? It's not just the calories of the sandwich. It's also the shit that is in the sandwich or the burger or the pop or the whatever. There is a ton of stuff out there that is actually shortening your life. Now, I know you're probably sitting there and thinking, well, Devin, come on now. You're being a little dramatic. I am a little dramatic. There's no question about that. Am I being overly dramatic with this? Well, not actually the case. I'm not actually being that overly dramatic. Here's the deal and the facts. It's not rocket science. Like I said before, fitness is not rocket science. Simply put, if you eat junk food regularly, and I mean 2 to 3 times in a week, and when I'm talking junk food, I'm talking food that has no nutritional value. Chips, pop, whatever, the things that don't have nutritional value to them, and you're just eating them for the calories, the food itself is very bad for you. The salt, the fat, the sugar, that stuff will be bad for you, and yes, it will cause you problems. The calories also will cause you to get heavier. When you're heavier, your life expectancy goes down. It goes down. So heavier you are, the shorter your life expectancy. The heavier you are, the less healthy you are. And unfortunately, that's a fact. And you know what? That counts for me too. I'm 245 pounds. Yes, I'm fairly muscular, but I am not as healthy as a 175-pound dude who doesn't do very much. Seems weird, right? Doesn't seem like it makes any sense, but it does because there's not stress on the internal organs. He doesn't have stress, or she doesn't have stress on her internal organs, right? On the heart, on the lungs, all those things that I have every day just walking around. So I am fairly fit, but my life expectancy will be shorter based on the fact that I'm heavier. If you're heavier and it's fat, it's even less of a life expectancy. You're shortening it. So I understand. It's hard to make those decisions. It's hard to say, okay, I'm going to cut out all the junk food. And I don't think you should. Let's be clear. I've said many, many times on here, I think cutting out some junk food is important. Cutting out all junk food is stupid. If you cut out all junk food, you never will, you won't stick with it. And then you'll eat a bunch of crap and everything goes it goes haywire. It doesn't work. You have to have some cheat meals. You have to have some reasonable meals. It's just a fact. I have pizza every week. There's nothing wrong with that. The rest of my week is pretty damn healthy, but I do have pizza on Fridays with my kids. Why? Because that's important to me. That's a thing I do. It's a family event. I like to do it. I'm not going to change it. And I think that considering I'm walking around about 10 to 11, 12% body fat, I think I'm doing it all right. It's working out okay. But if I eat pizza 4 times a week or 3 times a week, would that kill me and shorten my life? Yes, it will. It sucks. It sucks. The stuff that you like, the M&Ms, the McDonald's, the pizza, the nachos, in small doses, once a week, once every week and a half, twice in a week maybe. That's okay. Anything in moderation. But if you eat it too often, you will shorten your life and it will kill you. What you put in your mouth will kill you. It's the same thing as saying, I'm going to have an Advil every 4 or 5 days because I have a headache. Not going to do any damage. If you're popping Advil 2 and 3 of them or 4 of them every day, kidney damage, liver damage, problems. Just a fact. It's not rocket science. And we all know you just can't take pills all day. That's a bad idea, right? But we will eat junk food every day, and junk food will shorten your life just like a pill will. So we need to look at food as being fuel. Yes, it tastes good. But some of those foods can actually kill you. Some of those foods will shorten your life. You don't want to die young. Listen, I'm 47, almost 48 years old. I'm going to be 48 later this month. I do not want to die young. I have 4 kids. I want to see them grow up, be successful, be happy, have children. Hopefully I'd like to be a granddad at some time. Not anytime soon, but I would like to be a granddad at some time. It would be nice to have that time with my children. I want to retire. Well, as much as retiring as I can do, because I'm not really a retiring kind of guy, but you get the drift. I want to live as long as I can, as healthy as I can. But if you're eating garbage, I can tell you, not only you're not going to live very long, you're also not going to live very healthy. Do you want to be 60 or 65 and unable to do stuff? You're too overweight to get out of bed, you got heart problems, you got lung problems, you got all kinds of problems because of the dumb things you did, which is not exercise and eat garbage? Was the food really that tasty when the next 10 years of your life, you lose 10 years that you could have had healthy, now you have them and you're not healthy and or you're dead? Doesn't seem like a trade-off that I want. I'm going for the trade-off that's good, not the trade-off that's bad. Just me. Obviously, I work in the fitness industry. I want to be healthy longer. But I think it's a truism. There's nobody out there that wants to be unhealthy. Break it down this way for a second. It's like putting diesel fuel in a sports car. The sports car may run, but it runs like shit. It doesn't work. You don't put diesel fuel in a sports car. Why? Because you don't do it. Your body is worth more than a sports car. It's the only thing you have that you can't buy and replace. There's nothing else. You get one, if you don't take care of it and it's over, too bad for you, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody likes that idea. So you have to remember, you get one body, you don't put diesel in a sports car, don't put garbage in your body. Treat your body with respect, treat your body as something you need long term, and it will take care of you. You don't, and it won't last very long. And then you'll be dead, and nobody's really happy if you're dead. Your family's not happy, you're probably not happy, nobody's winning. So be smart about it. Yes, you can have junk food, but it will poison you if you eat it too often. You have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. I usually respond to most people, even when they say I'm an idiot. I still respond. I have lots of people that say I'm an idiot. And you know what? Who's to say they're not necessarily right? But when it comes to fitness, I do know a little bit about it. So write up your comments down below. I would love to hear from you. If you disagree with this, write up that too. Listen, I like to hear from people. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Enjoy the sunny weather. Don't fight the awesome.